Hey everyone, it's Shay and Sam from Parents Guide to the World. Recently we got to experience something that all of you need to experience. We got to go to a paint splatter room that also is a rage room. It's right in New Hampshire and it's definitely awesome. It's called the Rage Cage. Now first we want to talk to you about the paint room, but stick around because at the end of the video we're going to get into the rage room as well. Baby, tell me a little bit about what your experience was in the paint room.
The paint room was so cool, and every crafting mother's literal godsend, so to speak. Chloe went in there with the ability to paint. She thought we were going to do some canvases, which, yes, we did. They do give every person in there a canvas. But the main attraction of the paint room is that you can make it as messy or as clean as you want. So if you want to have a huge paint war with your entire family, which we did, and we will show some of that footage as well, we made a huge mess. And we did do the canvas as well, which looked really nice. We actually have them right above our TV stand still downstairs. And the best part, zero cleanup on any parent's part. You can just make the biggest mess ever, and they have all of it covered for you. You can even actually buy jumpsuits from them if you don't want to bring your own clothes in. And that way you don't have to worry about storing your own clothes either.
I think they even had jumpsuits you could just rent too. So they had some you could buy. We brought our own shirts and then we purposely left them in a bag to try to stain them so that we would end up with like this weird tie-dye thing. They do use paint that's supposed to be, water soluble and isn't supposed to stain clothes. So we did leave these in the bag covered in paint for a prolonged period of time. So theoretically it should have washed out, but I would also not wear your favorite pair of clothes or your favorite Nikes or something. You want to wear stuff that if you do happen to ruin it, you're okay with it. Because in the end, you're going to be throwing paint at each other, you're going to be squirting paint at each other, you're going to be wiping paint at each other with paint brushes, there's going to be glitter involved and everything, and really, you may not even want to throw that stuff in your washing machine by the time you're done with it. So we actually recommend probably picking up some just cheap white shirts or just have some junk clothes ready to go. That way you don't have to worry about it. But it's awesome. You can get your music ready, so definitely make sure you have like a phone or music player. You can put that on there. They got a speaker system set up in there. The whole place is like crazy messy, so you don't have to like worry about getting it messy. And they've even been expanding it to have more things. So now they have like a paint squirt gun type thing that they're testing out and that adults can use, and they're working on that for kids. And then they have like glow paint so that you can actually, have that glow paint experience with the black lights and everything. And then one of the funniest ones was just the cotton balls covered in the paint and glitter. Just chucking those at each other was fun. And of course, having like little duels with the paintbrushes. And we did make that sizzle reel, so like once you guys are done watching this video, check out that sizzle reel that we have about the paint room. It's just like our attempt at like kind of a little crazy music video about it.
What's included with the price, which normally is $20 per person, so it's very reasonable. That comes with, I want to say, was it 5 different paint colors per each person?
I think so, and keep in mind these might change, and also if you have a paint room, check with them because your paint room might be different. Right,
but this one particularly came with 5. Now, you do have the ability to actually purchase additional colors if you feel like it, and then the cotton balls that Shay was mentioning with the paint and the glitter in it, that's also an add-on. We definitely got a couple different colors of that though, and it was super fun. Granted, I will say, after we left the paint room and went out to dinner, there was a lot of paint in our hair still, our faces, a lot of glitter. So be prepared to bring a change of clothing with you afterwards.
Now the crazy thing is, we did travel a ways to go to New Hampshire for this, so a couple hours. And like she said, we were covered in paint. But we ended up going into a craft store and nobody even thought we looked weird. And we were like covered in paint. So it is kind of hilarious that depending on where you go, the Chick-fil-A across the street, I think everyone was looking funny at us, but when we went to the Hobby Lobby or whatever craft store it was, we blended right in with all the artists and whatnot in there. And you do want to do a couple things to kind of keep in mind. Is the paint will go really quick if you just start squirting it out at everyone. So, be a little reasonable with it, kind of take your time enjoying a little bit of the paint stuff as well as kind of getting in fights with it. That's definitely would be my recommendation with it. And you definitely do not want to take your goggles off. Like, even if this paint is not something that is going to really cause you harm, you do not want to get it in your eyes and all that, dealing with it. Clean up afterwards is like a mess, so you're going to have like lots of paper towels and everything like that. So if you can, plan on taking a shower afterwards and not having to go out to dinner like we did, probably beneficial for you. But we live farther away, so we had to kind of make that journey to, you know, to go out to eat and everything.
The great thing is too is this is for all ages. So anybody in your family could be, I don't know if I'd say an infant maybe, but a toddler, definitely. All the way through your teenagers, and heck, you could even bring grandma if you wanted. I think she'd get a kick out of that. So we had a blast with that. Now, they recently started doing birthday parties there as well, in an actual, they now have a mobile paint room that he rents out for specific events, birthday parties. They're really reasonably priced. Now, with mentioning the birthday parties, that leads into the next part of that adventure, which was the Rage Room. We decided to go there for Shay's birthday. We had wanted to go for quite a while.
As we get into the Rage Room, both of the Rage Room and the paint rooms, in my opinion, are fairly reasonable price-wise. So she mentioned that there's basically birthday parties at the paint room, but as far as the pricing as of making this video, it was $20 per person for the paint room, $25 per person for a glow room, and then $40 for the Rage Room. Now, you do get, with the Rage Room, we got an hour, right, for that $40?
Yep, it was 1 hour, and 1 hour for the paint room as well.
So it's pretty decent. I mean, it is per person. You do need to set appointments for all of your excursions here. Excursions, that doesn't sound so horrible. You can tell we've been on cruise ships recently. You do need... Okay, let's try that one more time. You do need to make sure that you set up appointments to go to the paint room or the Rage Room. They're not just walk-ins. They do have some limited hours. Obviously, larger groups can be accepted in certain situations, but if you have like a really big group, you might not be able to all fit in one Rage Room. So definitely call ahead of time to check it out. And if you have another one in your area, check with them too, because obviously the rules are going to change from state to state, and Rage Room and paint room and everything. But the Rage Room was really cool. So the first thing that you get to do is you go in and you have like a set amount of stuff you can pick out. Now there's going to be some extras that if you want to spend some extra money, you can. Also keep in mind, this is something that we wish we did. You can bring your own stuff too. So I have like a haunted TV in the back room that I kind of wish I would have brought so I could destroy it. But you basically can also buy like extra TVs there, extra printers if they have it. But to start out with, you get like, I can't remember what it was, like maybe it was 30 things.
Something about 30 things, but they give you a crate for you to pick out from shelves, just tons of shelves, varieties of knickknacks, glass,
basically,
CDs.
if you were at Goodwill, it's like if you were at Goodwill, you just pick up all the stuff off the Goodwill shelf to smash.
Exactly.
Some of it's very kind of cute and creative, and like some of it's just plain glasses. But it seems like we wanted stuff that was more fun to smash, maybe, or that was not just your typical norm stuff. So instead of just grabbing the cup, we would grab the cup with the chipmunk thing on top of it or whatever. There's some very strange things, but in the end, you just pick up all your different things, you know, your plates, you get your cups, your bowls, your lamps, your random things like that. They give you one bigger item, one like electronic type item, and basically this is all just junk that would have gone in the garbage anyway or never sold at Goodwill. So they're buying this stuff. Some of it, obviously, they're getting in donations and everything. And then we get to go in the room and we get to pick our implements of destruction. Now this is obviously like one of the more fun things. So first thing you see is like, oh, sledgehammer. Okay, we're definitely use that. And it's definitely a lot of fun. But then they've also got now bowling balls, which are pretty cool. The baseball bat, I think, ends up being like my favorite because it's easy to grab. It's just ends up being probably the best one to actually swing at something, because you can do an actual baseball bat swing and knock it into the wall. Where the sledgehammer, you always have to come down on it, you know, and it's such a big sledgehammer that by the time you hit something with it, it just destroys and goes everywhere. It's almost like too much destruction. But you're basically nailing all this stuff off of a old water heater and a tire, and that way you're not completely destroying the room. So you're putting all the stuff on the tire before you smash it, or on the on the radiator. And then like we were throwing stuff to each other, like throwing cups at each other, which does bring me to like one thing that you definitely want to keep for advice is they're gonna put a face mask on you. You're gonna wear gloves. And you're going to wear a jumpsuit. All of that stuff you need to wear. Do not take it off. Do not rub your eyes. None of that. Because if you do it right, you're going to be covered in glass. Like, let's be honest, glass shards are going to go flying everywhere. And even though we were quite protected and we didn't get any cuts or anything like that, I definitely found a couple pieces that were like in my hair So you may want to even consider like wearing an old junk hat or something like that underneath the mask. I think that's something I would have probably considered, maybe even a beanie or something. But you do get warm, it's sweaty, you're gonna really want to take that mask off. It's foggy and stuff, that's the only downside really, but it's not, trust me, you do not want to. The little tiny glass shards are going to be on everything.
Yeah, we definitely left with a lot of glass in our hair, a little bit in my shoes. I tried to keep all of that protected. The jumpsuits come in a ton of sizes. The face masks come in sizes for everybody, and that's all included as well. Definitely, you have to use the PPE there, though. It's not a choice, and trust me, after you do it, you'll understand why. I would definitely make sure you do that.
They do also have a waiver and some information about safety. Make sure you take that seriously, because in the end you are using implements of destruction to chunk glass around a room and hit it as hard as you can. I mean, it's so much fun, but definitely we want them to be safe. We want you to be safe. We don't want there to be any problem, and we want them to be able to provide this service for people in the future, right? So keep in mind, you are the one going in there and you're going to sign a waiver. In the end, if you get hurt, it's on you. So, you know, that's something to remember, but at the same time, they do a lot to really provide that safety for you, and I don't think that they really have very many incidents or anything in there. And some of the stuff I've seen people doing, people are getting creative. They're bringing in like entire sets of things to destroy. We saw these girls coming in after us that had like an entire like makeup of things that they were trying to destroy, all kind of like college drinking themed essentially. So it's definitely a fun place for like adults, college kids. I mean, we're older, I'm in my 40s, and it's definitely a place that I probably would have taken advantage of for a lot more of my life, because in the end it's a good place to get some stress out, you know, and have fun. So I think that I would recommend it to almost anyone. I want to take my kids out there as they grow up, but take it seriously, be safe about it.
Well, that being said, something that's important to note, if you do go in as a large group, only 2 people are allowed in the room at any time.
That's right.
When you're in there, it's not a huge space. So if you're swinging a sledgehammer, you need to be paying attention to the other people in the room. I definitely made sure I stood back in the corner while Shay was swinging. I did not get anywhere near him when he had it in his hand. So you do want to make sure that you watch out for that as well.
If you do have the larger party that she was mentioning, just like something like if you're axe throwing, obviously you might have to take turns, right? But you have an hour. Now, if you have a really large party, what I would actually recommend is maybe trying to book both rooms at that point. That way you can split your parties up, because it's still the same cost per person. And even though you may not all be in the same room, their rooms are right next to each other. So if only 2 people could be in a room at a time and the other 4 to 6 of you are outside, you can be planning your next level of destruction, your next thing, and watching your friends, taking pictures of them, because that's something that I wish we did more of, is the 2 of us were there, and no one was really there to take pictures or video of us. And I kind of wish we had more of that, because it is pretty cool. And when you're in there, you don't want to dig your camera out and like with your glassy fingers and try to take pictures. We did, but it is definitely something that if you had that one guy on the side for a little while and then took places and took turns with them, you might get a little bit more memory and something to kind of like, put on the end of these videos instead of you guys just watching us talk.
No, and just like the paint room, it is a rage room, so obviously you're going to be taking out some frustrations. Make sure to bring your own music. They will actually connect that for you as well, so whatever your favorite jam to go ahead and break things to, you're going to want to bring that.
Some nice jazz. No, I'm just kidding.
Some nice jazz, absolutely.
I'm just kidding.
And then if you bring anybody in your party that doesn't want to participate, or you do have younger kids that actually are not allowed to, there are cameras, so you can see into the room, but they actually have it recorded as well, so you can sit and watch, the rest of the people in your group go ahead and break things too safely.
And when I said jazz, I obviously wasn't really serious. I recommend like some heavy metal, some old school rock, something like that. But hey, if jazz is your thing, jazz it up. I think it'd actually be hilarious to watch somebody breaking stuff to jazz. Like, I'm coming up with another video idea right now. Please like and subscribe, and hey, check out this video right here. This is the sizzle reel that we were just talking about. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
Peace. Peace. Yo.
Okay.
okay.
That one was more of a struggle, I feel like.
That's because I lost my place and I just started rambling.
It's okay.
It's okay. We can cut some of it out if we have to.
Yeah, whatever sounds like a repeat, we can just